Greetings. We are Crimson One, Jessica, Tracy, Janae, Miller, and Anastasia, and today we're pitching you Mighty, a real startup, an AI platform that takes generalized science and makes it fit you, your body, your age, your life. We built a 10-panel cloud simulation portfolio into one integrated dashboard that proves Mighty can survive scalability, govern data responsibly, and still make money.
My section covers Panel 1, Executive Financials, and Panel 2, Value Realization. In Panel 1, I can adjust financial planning assumptions such as the initial migration investment, annual cloud operating costs, projected growth rate, discount rate, and expected cloud migration savings. As these assumptions change, the dashboard recalculates several key financial metrics including Year 1 CapEx, Year 1 OpEx, 5-year total cost of ownership, net present value, return on investment, and payback period. The stacked bar chart visualizes the transition from an upfront capital investment model toward an ongoing cloud operating expense model, while the cumulative ROI curve shows when the investment begins generating positive returns. In Panel 2, the dashboard focuses on value realization by quantifying benefits from productivity improvements, downtime reduction, compliance savings, and customer satisfaction gains. As assumptions change, the dashboard updates total annual value, cumulative 5-year value, value multiple, and overall return category. The waterfall chart illustrates where value is created, while the benefit breakdown table shows the individual contribution of each benefit source. Together, these panels help leadership evaluate both the financial viability of the cloud migration and the long-term business value generated by the platform.
My section covers Panels 3 and 4, Governance and Compliance. The purpose of these panels is to show how Mighty would be governed as it scales from a cloud prototype into a platform handling demographic user data, AI confidence scoring, privacy obligations, and reliability requirements. In Panel 3, I am adjusting the governance inputs, including audit frequency, AI ethics review board size, policy automation, and privacy review coverage. As those controls improve, the dashboard updates the compliance score, risk level, governance maturity, policy exceptions, and executive readiness. This shows governance as a measurable management system instead of just a written policy. Panel 4 focuses on decision rights. When I select a decision type, such as security, AI ethics, privacy, or operations, the dashboard shows who approves the decision and how accountability is assigned through the RACI model, who is responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed for each major governance area. The business insight is that Mighty's growth depends on trust. Strong governance helps protect user data, manage AI risk, maintain compliance, and support reliable cloud operations as adoption increases.
This panel evaluates how much Mighty should invest in AI and where returns begin to flatten. I can adjust AI investment, data quality, return sensitivity, and maximum attainable value. The dashboard updates projected AI value, ROI, investment efficiency, and the diminishing returns threshold. The value curve shows that AI value continues to increase with investment, but the rate of return gradually declines. In the current scenario, spending reaches a point where ROI becomes negative even though value is still being generated. We initially assumed that increasing AI investment would always improve outcomes. The simulation showed that value continues to grow, but ROI eventually declines as spending outpaces benefits. As a result, we shifted our recommendation toward identifying the optimal investment range rather than simply maximizing AI spend.
These are Panels 5 and 6, DevOps and Resilience. In Panel 5, I can adjust 3 development assumptions: automation percentage, team size, and release frequency. As these values change, the dashboard recalculates deployment frequency, change failure rate, lead time for change, and the overall DORA performance tier. The trend chart shows how deployment frequency improves as automation and release maturity increase, while the scorecard compares each metric against published DORA benchmarks. This helps leadership understand how engineering investments affect delivery speed, quality, and operational maturity. Panel 6 focuses on reliability and resilience. Here I can adjust redundancy level, region strategy, recovery time objective, and recovery point objective. As the resilience configuration changes, the dashboard updates projected uptime, monthly infrastructure cost, expected monthly risk, and disaster recovery compliance. The chart illustrates the trade-off between availability and cost. Increasing redundancy improves uptime and reduces operational risk, but it also increases infrastructure spending. The heat map further shows how risk decreases as resilience investments increase. The business insight is that reliability is not simply a technical requirement. It is a strategic investment decision that requires balancing uptime, risk reduction, recovery objectives, and cost.
This is Panel 8, our Organizational Adoption Dashboard. It simulates how Ready Mighty's internal teams are to adopt new workflows as we scale, driven by 3 levers: training hours, leadership engagement, and communication effectiveness. Watch what happens when I push training to 30 hours and leadership engagement past 70%. The readiness score climbs into the high 60s, the adoption curve ceiling rises, and the ramp-up pulls forward into month 5 instead of month 9. Early on, our model treated these inputs as simply additive, and it made strong interventions look like failures, capping readiness around 48% even with solid inputs. We rebuilt it around diminishing returns. The same pattern mirrors Panel 7 uses for AI investment. The first chunk of training and leadership buys most of the readiness gain. The business insight? You don't need maximum investment everywhere. You need to clear the readiness threshold.
This panel models how Mighty grows from early adoption to large-scale market penetration. I can adjust marketing spend, network effect strength, and market type, and the dashboard updates projected users, revenue, and growth forecasts. The adoption S-curve shows cumulative user growth, while the chart on the right shows when monthly growth reaches its peak. When I apply the Huberman effect, adoption accelerates significantly and growth occurs earlier. The key takeaway is that network effects often create more value than marketing spend alone, but rapid adoption also requires the platform to be ready for sudden increases in demand.
This is the integrated dashboard. All 9 panels, 1 app, 1 navigation bar. Budget and ROI, governance, DevOps, product, adoption, GTM, cloud cost, and an executive summary tying it together. Every panel you've seen in this video lives here as its own tab, built by a different owner, now running side by side. Putting it all in one place is what actually exposed our biggest finding. Our 9 panels didn't automatically agree with each other. DevOps was built around real historical uptime data, finance ran on its own cost assumptions, and adoption and product used 2 completely different modeling frameworks under the hood. Combining them forced us to confront that, and it's why our next milestone isn't a new panel. It's making sure cost, uptime, and adoption numbers reconcile across the board, the same way a real engineering org has to trust its dashboards before acting on them.
This panel shows how Mighty manages cloud costs as adoption increases. I can adjust pricing models, right-sizing savings, and serverless adoption, and the dashboard automatically updates cloud cost, savings, and profitability. The revenue versus cost chart shows how margins improve as the platform scales, while the waterfall chart highlights where savings are generated through optimization strategies. We assumed user growth alone would improve profitability. The simulation showed that infrastructure costs could grow just as quickly as revenue. As a result, we added cost optimization strategies such as savings plans, right-sizing, and serverless adoption to improve margins while supporting scale.